The bachelorette party that I planned for Anali is not a movie night. There will be some drinks. There will be some snacks. There might be some...
Now, this is definitely the kind of bachelorette party that Annalie was hoping for. But enjoy it while you can, Annalie, because she's about to learn some news that's gonna bring her world crashing down. So what is it that could possibly ruin the fun? Well, according to her future sister-in-law, Clayton's mum isn't ever likely to move out.
Clayton and my mom have always lived together. It's actually, disturbing. They will not leave each other's side.
You can't blame Annalie for being scared. The way that Brandi's talking, it really does sound like Clayton and his mum have a weird, disturbing bond. That's a massive red flag, especially coming from Clayton's own sister. But on that topic of red flags, the last time we saw these guys, it was Violet that had a few red flags of her own. You see, she was growing increasingly frustrated with Annalie for not cooking cheeseburgers and not speaking English. And as you can imagine, the tension in the house wasn't exactly helped when Annalie overheard her fiance bitching about her to his mum. But when we join them in this episode with their wedding only a few days away, the pair have agreed to put their tension behind them. And today, it's finally time for their bachelor and bachelorette parties. It's time to have fun, but not too much.
No strippers.
¿Quién lo está prohibiendo?
Soy el jefe.
Oh boy, Clayton is in for a very rude awakening. Now, we all know that if Clayton had his way, Annalie would be at home cooking burgers, bathing the guinea pigs and taking an English class. And it doesn't exactly help that his bachelor party sounds very tame.
Creo que Clayton está planeando más una junta de nerds que una despedida de soltero, porque no sé qué va a hacer solo con Cameron.
Ouch. The way that Annalie said that, there's so much judgment in her voice. And honestly, I don't blame her. I agree, he is a total nerd. But I'm not the one marrying him. Annalie knows what he's like. She knows that they're total opposites. Their ideas of having fun speak volumes. While Annalie wants something wild and X-rated, Clayton's party, by comparison, would probably be more suited to a 6-year-old.
It's the ideal bachelor party. Some people like to drink, some people like to gamble, but I just want to take a dip in the pool.
Cool bachelor party, bro.
With my best friend.
That's your ideal bachelor party, Clayton. Wow. Well, Clayton might want to look away now, because while he and Cameron are playing with donuts and splashing each other, his soon-to-be wife is gearing up for a night of absolute carnage, one that doesn't involve sitting in front of the TV watching Netflix.
Tengo una sorpresa para ti. Esto no es una noche de cine. Muchas gracias. Thank you so much.
Not only does Annalie look very relieved by that statement from Brandi, she looks excited. Heck, she looks hungry. Now, let's not forget that Annalie made a very specific request for her special day. There was something very particular that she wanted to see. And I'm not talking about alpacas or llamas.
Oh no.
Somebody ask for an officer?
Sure, you might not have everything you want for your big day. We don't even know if you've got a wedding officiant yet. But I'm pretty sure this makes up for it in Annalie's mind. And while she and Brandi may not have got off on the right foot when they first met, it is nice to see them getting closer, bonding and laughing, even if that bonding involves a stripper thrusting himself in their face. But hey, what's a good sister-in-law for, right?
If you're gonna ask for strippers, you're gonna get strippers. Deported.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
That's quite the redemption from Brandi. She's gone from Anali hating her to Anali now loving her. I mean, the joy's written all over her face. This is the first time she's really been able to let loose since arriving in America. It's her first night out without Clayton, and for someone who later claims she was just kidding about wanting a stripper, she sure does seem pretty darn happy about it.
Take a picture of both of us.
I think Anali, she low-key likes it.
If Clayton were a fly on the wall at that moment, I think the poor guy might have a heart attack. Not only is the stripper waving his manhood in her face and straddling her lap, but Annalie's determined to capture the moment in a selfie. Yeah, rules are made to be broken. And clearly, even with Clayton's words ringing in her ears, Anali just doesn't care.
Así que sé que esto realmente nos va a traer problemas. Pero me da mucho gusto de que Brandi haya organizado esta fiesta y que estemos disfrutando este momento junto con sus amigas.
Now, at this point, the women are all clearly very merry. The drinks have been flowing, and the show is certainly on the road, so to speak. So you might be wondering, what are Cameron and Clayton up to? Surely things have spiced up a little since splashing around in the swimming pool. I mean, surely Clayton must also be letting his hair down, right? No, wrong.
I think it's cool that you can still teleport with the cape, even if it's not active. Whereas other capes, it'll just like force it off of you and you can't use it anymore.
Yeah, right.
This is impressive even for Clayton. Even by his nerd standards, he's out-nerded himself here. The guy's with his best friend in person for only the second ever time. He knows better than anyone what Brandi's like, so he must have some suspicion of what she, her friends and Anali are up to. Yet, instead of letting his hair down, instead of celebrating his last night as a bachelor in the way that most men would, he prefers to sit around playing video games. The same thing he does every single day. Even his best friend thinks the whole thing is pretty pathetic.
Bro, I'm gonna be honest, this is the weirdest bachelor party I've ever been to.
Didn't ask, plus ratio, plus L.
Yeah, that might be accurate, Cameron, but you know what? Anali looks like she's having more than enough fun for the both of them. Now, when they finally manage to prise Anali away from the stripper's presence, the party rages on at Brandi's house. The drinks continue to flow, and the contrast between these two parties is absolutely insane. While Clayton and Cameron are talking about magical capes with superpowers, Annalie's shotgunning a beer. Yeah, these two are total polar opposites.
Have you ever shotgun a beer? Like that? Oh my God. And then you put it to your mouth, pop the tab. Welcome to America.
It's all fun and games, that is, until Brandi and Anali finally get time alone. Remember, these two ladies have never had a one-on-one conversation before, so regardless of the fact that this isn't exactly the best timing, and there's a language barrier between them, Brandi decides that now, today, here, right now, with just days left to the wedding, now's the perfect time to ask Anali some pressing questions.
This is the first time I've been with Anali alone, and I'm actually just interested in getting her drunk and finding out who she really is.
Now, initially at least, that does sound a little manipulative. But as Brandi begins questioning Anali about how she feels living with her mum, we start to see that Brandi's motives are actually good. She wants to help, and perhaps encouraged by the alcohol and everything that Brandi's done for her tonight, Anali decides to open up. She decides to be honest. She tells Brandi that after the wedding, she'd like Violet to move out.
But I would like to have more privacy with Clayton since the apartment is so small that she can hear everything.
I understand her situation at the moment, but after we are married, she needs her own space.
It's amazing what a little Dutch courage can do, isn't it? It may have been Brandi who was hoping to get Anali to spill the beans, but it's actually Brandi who's the one that starts talking. You see, she opens up about the weird dynamic between Clayton and his mum. And the more that she talks, the more it sounds like Anali won't be getting her closet space back anytime soon.
Clayton and my mom have always lived together. It's actually like disturbing. Like they will not leave each other's side.
Disturbing. I mean, look, Brandi's tears, her choice of words here, all raise major alarm bells in my mind. This is a crazy way to talk about your own flesh and blood. But it seems very clear that Clayton and Violet's codependency issues run very deep. This isn't quite what was presented to us in the first episode. This isn't just a case of Violet bunking with Clayton until she finds her own place. It's already been years that she's been living in the closet, and she has no intention to leave. And from what Brandi's saying here, it sounds like Clayton might be willing to choose his relationship with his mum over Analie. Brandi's very gentle, very drunken warning to Analie should come as a stark warning about how toxic Clayton and Violet's relationship really is.
Ella vivirá contigo para siempre. Wow.
Yeah. Together forever.
Always together.
Always.
Forever? I mean, that's a very worrying thing to be hearing 2 days before your wedding. If by some miracle she didn't realise it before, Analie now knows she's not just committing her life to Clayton, but also to Violet. And like a smack to the face, Analie's suddenly becoming more and more sober and more concerned.
Voy a pensarlo realmente. Solo espero hablar hoy seriamente con Clayton porque no quiero vivir esta situación en el futuro.
As if Analie didn't already have enough concerns, this conversation has just sent shivers up her spine. The prospect of living forever with a mother-in-law that she can sense doesn't like her is clearly rattling her. It's very far from her American dream. In fact, it's more like an American nightmare. And from what she says next, it's clear she's not gonna put up with it.
Y si es así, pues ya no puedes hacer nada, solo un trámite de divorcio.
It's not exactly a good sign, is it? They're not even married yet, but already Analie is threatening divorce. But in order to get divorced, you need to get married first. And judging from the way that Analie's talking here, it sounds like she's not even gonna go ahead with the wedding until she gets reassurances from Clayton. She needs to know that he's willing to kick out his mum. Now, given that Clayton has previously admitted that he wants to live his own life, perhaps he might be ready to choose Analie. But Brandi isn't so sure. She feels like he doesn't have it in him to free himself from their mother's grasp.
Clayton wants a wife. It just makes me sad. I just don't feel like it's right.
Brandi's right, this is very sad. It almost sounds like Clayton has had to be the parent in this relationship. He's had to treat Violet like a dependent, like a child, and that's created a strange bond between them. Even though it's his mum that's in the closet, it sounds like it's Clayton that's trapped. But the thing is, Clayton doesn't have room in his apartment or his life for both these women. So the question is, which one will he choose?